Hey y'all, and welcome to Compassion is the Secret Ingredient. Today I'm going to be making my bruschetta grilled cheese. Bruschetta. Either way, it's delicious. Transforming what would just be normally toasts into a grilled cheese makes it so much more of an experience. It takes it from grill dinner to dinner. The very first step in all of this is to finely dice a bunch of tomatoes. Now, as you can see, I'm using two different kinds of tomatoes. I have regular tomatoes and then I also have cherry tomatoes. The reason being is regular tomatoes provide a nice juiciness and the cherry tomatoes provide a nice sweetness, and that balance is wonderful for this sandwich. If you would rather use just one or the other, if you have a preference to one or the other, you're more than welcome to change that up and do it with whatever tomatoes you personally prefer. I've got some fresh basil here and I'm just slicing that up to put into the tomato mixture. Fresh basil going in. The next thing going in is some minced garlic. I like to buy it just already minced for me. This is at Costco that you can get this. Double check the ingredients list wherever you are purchasing your pre-minced garlic because a lot of times they do include dairy. I don't know why, but they do. This one does not. So if you're looking for garlic that is a quick and easy shortcut, you don't have to fuss with it, then you are going to want to go to Costco and pick up this giant container of pre-minced garlic. This is an ingredient that you're definitely going to want to measure with your heart. I love garlic, am obsessed with garlic, and it doesn't do much to my stomach. So I am going to give a nice heaping tablespoon. Half a teaspoon equals a clove, so probably about 6 cloves, but maybe a little bit more because it is heaping. And then I'm also going to add in some salt and pepper to taste. I'm going to taste it just to make sure the salt and pepper are good. Perfect. Now I'm going to be using sourdough bread. It's my preferred bread of choice, but also I feel like with this sandwich and the flavors that we have, sourdough really lends itself nicely to this sandwich. You're going to want a nice big hearty loaf of bread. When I say that this makes 2 sandwiches, it makes 2 really big sandwiches. If you're using a more normal size loaf of bread than this, then just be aware you might be able to get 3, maybe 4 sandwiches out of this mixture. As you can see, I have my griddle busted out today. I thought it'd be really good to cook with you all on this side of the counter versus back over here. And especially with this bread being larger, I just thought let's give it some space on the griddle. But you can obviously cook this up in a normal pan. That would be perfectly fine. I'm going to go ahead and get my griddle preheated to a low heat. We want to use low because we want that cheese to melt down in our grilled cheese. And so we want it to go slow and low throughout this cooking process. Once it starts to heat up, I'm going to go ahead and throw in some vegan butter. Okay, so this is heated up to a nice low heat. It is not warm. I have a warm setting on here, but it's the next level. It says it's about 200-ish degrees. I'm going to go ahead and get my bread out, and I'm going to aim for these middle pieces, the biggest ones that I have. Put those down onto my surface here. Sprinkle my cheese onto each of these. I'm using BioLife mozzarella today, but you could use any vegan mozzarella that you prefer. You could use vegan Parmesan. You could use a mixture of the two if you would like. We're just going to let these sit for a few minutes and brown up nice and slowly. Let that cheese start to get all melty. And then we're going to go ahead and add on our bruschetta mixture. I went ahead and I put a lid down over my 2 pieces over here, and I'm just letting that heat build and melt that cheese a little bit more. And then I'm going to transfer it over here and do the same to these 2. Just transferred the lid over to these 2 slices so that I could take a look at these 2. Getting ever so slightly brown underneath, and that's perfect. Again, low and slow. Take your time with this process. So I just uncovered these other 2 slices. You can see the cheese is starting to get a little bit gooey, and that's perfect. These 2 back here have browned up perfectly. These 2 need just a couple more minutes. So I'm going to use these 2 as the bottom. That way they can maintain contact with the griddle. And I'm going to start to put on my tomato mixture. You want to try to avoid as much as possible the liquid. If you get a little, that's okay, but we really are looking for more just the tomatoes. Now I'm just going to take the 2 pieces from the back and flip them over onto the top of our sandwich. And I'll continue to let these cook for just a few more minutes. My sandwiches are done here. I'm going to go ahead and pull them off and let them rest for a second while we make our sauce that goes with them. As you can see, I switched to a bigger spatula. We're going to be making a balsamic vinegar mayo to dip our sandwiches into, and in order to make that, all you need is balsamic vinegar and vegan mayo. So I'm going to take a half a cup of balsamic vinegar, and I'm going to reduce that down. My balsamic vinegar has reduced. It's just this little itty bitty amount of deep dark syrup in the bottom of this pan. I'm going to go ahead and now combine it with the vegan mayo. We're going to need about half a cup, but you don't have to be super precise with it. Pouring in all of this balsamic vinegar that we've reduced. Now I'm just stirring to combine. It's finally time to give this sandwich a taste. I am so excited. I dipped it in a little bit of that balsamic mayo. Here we go. It is so messy, but so delicious. You get that bright freshness from the tomato and the garlic and the basil. And then you get that creamy cheesiness. And then the balsamic mayo is absolutely amazing. This is such a fun take on a grilled cheese. Okay, good job, Odin. Good job, I see you. Yeah. Good job, baby. Good job. Good job. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed watching me make my bruschetta grilled cheese and my balsamic mayo. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember that cooking with compassion can taste pretty damn good.